This week, Facebook announced that the data analytics firm Cambridge Analytica abused 87 million Facebook users. The number had previously been reported at 50 million, so it's gotten a lot bigger. According to the Guardian newspaper, the data analytics firm used the information to build a program that would both predict and influence voters during the United Kingdom Brexit vote, and it worked with the Trump campaign during the 2016 U.S. presidential election.
So this leaves a lot of people wondering if it's time to delete Facebook. Many conflicted over the choice wonder, what if you want to stay? Where do you go from here as a user? And how can you be safe on Facebook? 207 social media contributor Brett Whitmarsh joins us to talk about what you can do if you don't want to delete Facebook and what changes Facebook has made since the news. Thanks for coming in, Brett.
Sure thing.
So we'll start with that. What should you do?
Well, the first thing is people can rest assured that a lot of changes have happened in the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks since this news broke. Cambridge Analytica originally said that they had destroyed all of this data when we later found out they didn't. So Facebook's been taking them to task for that. So as of now, Facebook is now limiting what third-party organizations can do. They can no longer post to your timeline. They can no longer have access to your friend list or see events that you're going to or things like that. So, but mainly, you know, the review process has gotten a lot stricter. So now third-party groups are under tighter reign by Facebook. So they're doing more, and every day they're announcing more and more tools that in the next week or two, a lot of those tools are going to become even more transparent for people to have access to.
Obviously, an enormous amount of criticism of Facebook. Let's put that aside for 1 second. You say that we all just need to have a real sense of ownership about what we're doing online.
Yeah, we've been having these segments for about 6 or 7 years now, and I've kind of said the same thing for those times. So keep listening.
Just a little ahead of your time, as usual, Brett.
Be careful what you let in and be careful what you let out. So when a third-party thing, a game, an app, whatever it is, wants to have access to your Facebook account, they show you, they tell you what that stuff is that they're going to have access to. You can revoke that access. You can go through and you can actually specifically choose which one of those apps you get rid of. So be careful what you let in and be careful what you're letting out, who you're friending, things like that.
What type of apps would you want to keep?
So Instagram, for example, also owned by Facebook. If you have an Instagram account connected to your Facebook account, that's one way you would share from Instagram to Facebook. So that's an app that I personally would be okay keeping because I don't mind it sharing on behalf of me on my Facebook timeline. But other apps that maybe some of us have added maybe years and years ago when apps first started to become a thing on Facebook, now you can go through your settings and you can actually review each one of those individual apps and decide which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to get rid of. The settings are actually quite easy.
And not just apps, but anything that might have connected us to Facebook, so that would be games, websites, etc.
Any of that stuff. So games are another big one. You know, all these games are connecting like apps, so you're on there playing games all the time. You want to be mindful of what information they're collecting on you. But there's also websites that you might log into. A lot of websites allow you to log in and share from Facebook or comment on different websites. Be mindful of all of those things. Every time you're logging in with Facebook to another website, you're giving that website a little bit of access into your timeline. Even when you're shopping online, log out of Facebook. Don't just close the browser or swipe it off of your phone. Actually log off, because if you log off, they're now not tracking what your activity is doing. You can still shop on a big department store website or something, and that tracking now stops. So it's important to sort of be mindful of where you're staying logged in on those things.
What about the advertisement section of our accounts? Is that something that we should be reviewing?
Absolutely. So again, they've made this a lot more transparent for people. Some of these tools have existed for a while, but now you can really log in. You can look at what advertising data they have on you, and you can actually go through. And this is based on your likes, the things you comment on, the things you're sharing. You can go through all of that and decide what kind of person that they think I am. You can turn off some of those things, or you can keep some of those things on. But at the end of the day, Facebook is free. Anything you are doing, you are the data, you are the cost for Facebook to remain free. So as long as Facebook stays free, the advertising is where the money comes from. So everything you like, share, comment on, every activity, every click that you do, that data point is your cost for it to be free. That's how it just works.
Okay, so what are some other areas we should think about in terms of privacy?
So definitely check your friends list, things like that. Definitely go through and be mindful of who you're connecting with. Be mindful of different pages that you've liked. It's a really good opportunity. We talk about fake news a lot. That's a really good opportunity to go through and be mindful of the information that you're sharing, because every single thing like that you're sharing, that stuff is all being tracked as well.
And you see, you talked about being mindful about logging off. This is something you really got to pay attention to.
Absolutely. You want to try to log off as often as you can. Again, just sort of swiping away doesn't really do much on your phone. And these privacy tools that they give you, they're easy to do on your phone. They're a lot easier to do on your desktop. So my one big piece of advice is, it might seem a little tedious, but take the time, jump on your desktop and log into Facebook and go through these settings and just figure out what's there and get rid of some stuff. And a lot of these things we probably agreed to years ago, but it's still good to go back through and remove them.
All right, Brett Whitmarsh, thank you so much for coming in. And if you want to know more about what Brett talked about tonight, we have step-by-step instructions on our website. Go ahead.
No, that's it. We'll be back with more of 207 right after this.